Well, that was a great piece. All right, our next guest is looking to step into the big issues in the nation, the president's. And yesterday, he questioned Bernanke on Capitol Hill. So we're thinking he may have a few ideas for Big Ben. Joining us now is Congressman Ron Paul. He's joining us by phone from Arlington, Virginia. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning. Nice to be with you.
It's terrific to have you. So, you saw the testimony yesterday. You participated. Did he answer the kind of questions that we were looking for? And did you get any telltale signs as to why he so aggressively decreased rates over that 8-day period in January?
No, I think he avoided the point that I was trying to make is why is he not concerned about the value of the dollar, but he says that's the Treasury's responsibility, which is rather ironic. He's in charge of the money supply, and if you increase the money supply, you devalue the currency. Of course, he says no, what he's doing is lowering the interest rates to stimulate the economy, and his only job is to control prices, to manage a stable price level. But the point I keep trying to make is that if you don't have a stable currency and a sound currency, there's no way you can have stable prices. And I made that point that, producer prices are going up now over 12% per year, and he admitted that was a poor showing, so he's not even achieving stable prices at the same, because he's devaluing the currency, and that he's going to continue to lower interest rates. And we have to see the connection that lower interest rates means that you're cranking out more money, which means a lower dollar, which means inflation, which means he can't control prices. So he's on a catch-22 program, which I see no solution to under our current monetary system.
It's a very interesting point, because I'm kind of obsessed with the dollar, and you take a look at what it's doing versus the European currencies. Of course, since the EU combined their currencies back in 1999, it is at the worst level that it has been at on a trade-weighted index. Many people saying worse since 1980. How do we start to turn the U.S. dollar equation around? Because clearly what they are doing in the White House is saying this is going to increase exports and it's going to help the current account deficit. But there are a lot of things that it is doing that are really negatively affecting the economy. How do we change that?
Well, we have to quit monetizing our debt. We spend too much, we tax too much, and then we borrow too much, and we still don't have enough. So then we monetize the debt. We literally create credit out of thin air to accommodate the deficit spenders here in Washington. If you don't change that, you can't do it. The dollar will continue to go down. But the biggest problem is we're in catch-up right now. The dollar is dropping now, not because of what we're currently doing in the Congress, but what we've done for the past 10 years. Just as we pretended we could afford guns and butter in the 60s and we suffered through the 70s with stagflation, we're now starting to suffer from stagflation for the same reason that we haven't cut back any spending. So this process is going to get worse rather than better.
Wow, you perfect segue, because that's exactly where I wanted to go. Stagflation. It's never mentioned yesterday in any of his testimony, yet if you look at what he had to say, he said the discussion of downside risks to the growth outlook are growing, and the upside risks of inflation are becoming more problematic. To me, that sounds like stagflation. Now, why are we afraid to say the word, and what does that necessarily represent to this economy, and what do we got to do about it?
Well, they don't even want to say the word recession, but we truly are in a recession because GDP numbers aren't even reliable. But this is predictable. This is not something that we should be surprised with, because it's historic. Just think of third world nations when they destroy a currency. They always have weak economies, and their currency goes down and prices go up. And we've experienced in the 70s. We're doing it again. But if we're not careful, it's going to be a lot worse this time, because now we're in so much greater debt than ever before, and our productive jobs are overseas. So we've been dependent on a consumer-led economy from borrowed money. So we are not only going to have stagflation, we may have an inflationary depression, and it could be worldwide, because right now this economic and monetary system is more global than ever before. So just when our housing bubble collapsed, I'm even impressed with how much it affected foreign banks and the German banks. I mean, everybody's involved with these trillions of dollars worth of derivatives and housing security. So it's much bigger than anybody wants to admit.
It's very interesting. You're the first person that I've talked to that has mentioned an inflationary depression. One of the fascinating things yesterday is you looked at that room and Bernanke's testimony. It was a pretty empty room, and yet people are voting and saying the economy is the number one issue. So if it's an inflationary depression, it's a worldwide one. Tell me, or tell the American people right now, where is the glass half full?
Well, completely so, and they don't talk about it because they're afraid they'll frighten everybody, so they're scared to talk about the truth. I mean, can you imagine if Bernanke would have said this yesterday? I mean, there would have been huge panic. But denying the truth is, very bad too. And then people think, oh, we're just half full and everything is going to get better. But I think we're in uncharted territory, to tell you the truth. I don't think we've ever seen a situation like this where the world has been engulfed with fiat currency. So, you mentioned the euro does much better than the dollar, but I wouldn't feel comfortable having all my savings in the euro. It's a fiat currency. They run a welfare state in Europe, and they're going to have inflation too. So in purchasing power, the euro will go down as well. And that's why commodity prices are rising. People are leaving the currencies and they're buying commodities because they feel like these are hard assets, as well as gold and silver and all the other ones. But all commodity prices are going up and they're leaving their financials. But this was predictable. There's a lot of people who have studied Austrian economics that are not surprised that this is happening.
All right. Well, Congressman Ron Paul, it was a great pleasure. I'd love to have you in studio again or get you on the television screen. We appreciate you joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Now,